Welcome back, YouTubers, to another NXT review with me, Mr. Parkin, on behalf of the British Fish. You're going to get a general NXT review from me this week, talking about the show, and at some point, either over the weekend or more likely at some point next week, I think what I'll do is I'll upload a preview with my thoughts on all the matches and the build going into NXT TakeOver Our Evolution, which is happening this time next week on Thursday on the WWE Network, a 2-hour NXT live special, which I must admit, like many of the other live specials that they've done before, all three of them, I am immensely looking forward to, more than I've looked forward to anything wrestling related in quite some time. So you're going to get an NXT review from me this week. Comments in the comment section below if you have anything to say about the show. And then next week will be my preview, so save any thoughts you have for NXT TakeOver Our Evolution for that video. Right, let's get going. So we opened up this week's edition of NXT with some Divas action. You know, they're promoting the match between Charlotte and Sasha Banks at NXT TakeOver Our Evolution. We had Charlotte Flair defeating a jobber in what was really essentially a warm-up match, as the commentators put it. And like I said, this really wasn't about the match. It was more about what happened after it and helping build towards this match. You had Sasha Banks coming out and cutting like a semi-shoot promo about the Flairs and about Charlotte Flair's dad, etc., who I hope will be at ringside, but you never really know. And what was interesting as well is you didn't just have that. You had Bayley coming out and Sasha Banks cheap-shotting her on her injured knee, and that led to Charlotte running down to Bayley, and then Sasha come back out to try and get a piece of her. Charlotte takes her down to the ring. A Becky Lynch distraction leads to Sasha Banks actually hitting her finisher on Charlotte and ending up on top. And, you know, really, I think Sasha Banks and the way her character has been towards Charlotte and the way she's been booked in this feud, I think she desperately needed some heat here. I think this segment did get her something. I mean, a lot of the fans at Full Sail were booing Sasha Banks. Whether or not that was pumped in or not, I do not know. But she desperately needed some heat. As Flair has just looked really dominant in this feud so far. And she hasn't really got one over Charlotte yet, apart from maybe a freak tag team match win or something like that. So some much needed heat here in this feud heading towards NXT TakeOver Our Evolution. The Vaudevillains had two segments this week on NXT. They faced Wesley Blake and Buddy Murphy, and the Vaudevillains, of course, as they are part of the pay-per-view, and Blake and Murphy are not, won this well. Blake and Murphy didn't really get too much chance to shine, but in the go-home shows to the special event, you really want to put over the Vaudevillains, so you can't really have them get too much in on the Vaudevillains here. But I must admit, I do very much hope that Wesley Blake and Buddy Murphy do get some kind of push after NXT TakeOver Our Evolution, because I do believe that they are a pretty good tag team, and if WWE actually gives them a chance, or NXT gives them a chance, I think they could be, you know, legitimate contenders to whoever the tag team champions are at the time. But I do hope to see more of Wesley Blake and Buddy Murphy, you know, not necessarily after this special event, but further on down the line, because I think they have established themselves as a really good tag team unit that I think are warranting right now some much-needed tag team match wins. As for the other segment the Vaudevillains are in, Vaudevillains presents the Fall of the Lucha Dragons. No words can describe this. You have to really go and watch what they did here. It was a kind of similar theme to the one they did last week, and that kind of Bugs Bunny cartoon, you know, Vaudevillains presenting themselves as the heroes and the mini Lucha Dragons as the villains, and the way it was presented in that, you know, in that sort of Charlie Chaplin style, and, you know, instead of talking, they have writing on the screen like they did in the 30s with Charlie Chaplin, etc. Just fucking hilarious. I had to watch it 4 or 5 times, you know, just to really comprehend what the whole fucking thing was all about. That's how entertaining this was. And the Vaudevillains and all the stuff they've done with the Vaudevillains, you know, in these last 2 weeks has been really, really entertaining. I hope that they've done enough to do one of these every week, because this was, again, one of the highlights of the show, in my opinion. Just this whole segment involving the Vaudevillains, the production on it, and the way it was presented, you know, was really good and just really entertaining to me. And they even made it relate to the match they're having at NXT TakeOver Our Evolution. So they did some more 101 build for this match they're going to have at NXT TakeOver Our Evolution between Bull Dempsey and Baron Corbin. You know, it's pretty simple. I mean, they had Bull Dempsey beat a jobber in quick time, and then Baron Corbin beats a jobber in even quicker time. You know, and this, again, is very simple 101 booking between two big guys on the roster that are defeating jobbers quickly. And it'll be interesting to see how these two interact at the special event, you know, seeing as they're both pretty much booked as dominant monsters right now. That is exactly how you should build two guys up to face each other at pay-per-views. Have this guy beat some jobbers, have this guy beat some jobbers. Build these two guys up to the point where they're both unbeatable and then they face each other. And that is what generally in the wrestling business will draw you money. Two big superstars going at it. I'm not saying that Baron Corbin and Bull Dempsey are big superstars. I'm just saying that the build is there and the way they booked it is there. I'm really interested to see what they're going to do with Kevin Owens, aka Kevin Steen, at NXT TakeOver our Revolution. I really am. I'm going to refer to him as Kevin Owens from now on, as that is his actual NXT name. But once again, WWE, being smart, haven't ignored the history with Kevin Steen. He actually referred to fighting guys like Seth Rollins, Daniel Bryan, Adrian Neville, and he did quote his best friend, Sami Zayn. So they're actually not ignoring history here, and I think that's good. But he's talking about how, you know, he fought Seth Rollins. He got the call first. He tag teamed with Daniel Bryan. He got the call first. He's faced Adrian Neville, and he was best friends with Sami Zayn, but they got the call first. And now he's here to fight people, and now he's here to prove himself. This is exactly how they're building up Kevin Steen. And I think the one problem I had with WWE and Kevin Steen was they were going to make him into something that he wasn't. But it seems like WWE aren't making a PG Kevin Steen. They're actually making the Kevin Steen character that we saw on ROH and, you know, other indie promotions, etc., which is exactly what will get the best out of him. So I'm very glad that WWE are presenting this guy not just as a PG gimmick, but they're actually presenting him as something that I feel a lot of fans, especially hardcore fans, will really be able to relate to and get behind. More booking 101 here, which you expect on these go-home shows. We had Hideo Itami and Finn Balor versus Tyson Kidd and Tyler Breeze. You know, Tyler Breeze wasn't in a match because Kane Ripoff wasn't in the arena. Tyson Kidd wanted a rematch against Finn Balor, but William Regal instead booked this tag match. And Kidd and Breeze aren't on the special event unless they face each other. They were kind of teasing some tension there, so maybe they'll face each other in an unexpected match or something. I don't know. But they're not on the pay-per-view in a you know, predominant spot. So, of course, Hideo Itami and Finn Balor got the victory here. And that's really all we needed. We've had so much build between this Hideo Itami, Finn Balor and Ascension feud that I think it's been showcased so well on TV and it's been built up, you know, each and every week, etc. And there's been so much writing and booking put into it that I think at this point in time, there's no real need to have them, you know, really interact with each other. Let's just wait until next week when these guys face each other. So this, in my opinion, considering all the work they've done before it, it was totally fine. It really was. And then we get to our main event of the evening, and rightfully so, it was Sami Zayn and Adrian Neville face-to-face. They're going to be fighting for the NXT Championship at NXT TakeOver our Revolution. Of course, the title is on the line for Adrian Neville, and as part of the storyline, Sami Zayn is saying if he can't beat Adrian Neville and win the big one, he'll walk away. You know, adds a little bit of suspense to it whether or not Sami Zayn can actually win. But the promo itself, even though it was supposed to be face-to-face, it started off with Adrian Neville in the ring saying that he'll win at all costs and that Sami Zayn is too nice. Now, I must admit, I've not been a massive fan of Adrian Neville's promos. This was one of his better promos, in my opinion. He seemed very comfortable here, kind of coming across as more heelish and kind of, what's the word for it? I can't really think of the word. Condescending, I believe is the word I'm looking for. He seems a lot more comfortable on the mic talking like that, saying that Sami Zayn lacks killer instinct and that's why he won't be champion. You know, getting not necessarily personal with Sami Zayn, but kind of implying this is being personal with Sami Zayn. I think the thing I liked about this promo is that Sami Zayn comes out. He wasn't just his usual Mr. Nice Guy, I respect you, blah, blah, blah. Sami Zayn got really pissed off and really emotional, which is a side we haven't really seen as Sami Zayn. And Sami Zayn basically, you know, in the promo segment, Adrian Neville put his hand out for Sami Zayn and he said, no, this is what I do wrong. This is when I go and do something wrong and basically fuck it up. So he didn't shake his hand. Instead, he slaps him in the face and just gets really pissed off of Adrian Neville. A new side to Sami Zayn, which is good to see. So I didn't think this promo was anything special, but I don't really think it needed to be, because I think the match itself was really already sold. So I don't really think they needed to do too much here, but they did just enough, really, in my opinion, to make it good and to make this match, you know, a little bit more exciting. Hopefully we'll see a different side of Sami Zayn coming into TakeOver our Revolution. And if we are going to see this different side, that is what will get him the title. There could be some very interesting storyline, you know, storyline continuances, in my opinion, and character changes, perhaps, in this match, and it'll be interesting to see what they do there. More on that in my preview, which will be at some point either over the weekend or I think more likely next week, because I am pretty busy this weekend. But I am really looking forward to NXT TakeOver Evolution, but more details on why I'm more excited about it and why, you know, more than the matches that we've got, I'll talk about next week. It's a pretty full card, actually. I mean, we've got an NXT Championship match, we've got an NXT Women's Championship match, an NXT Tag Team title match, we've got Hideo Itami and Finn Balor versus The Ascension. You know, we've got Baron Corbin being spotlighted, who's one of the ones that's getting pushed in NXT right now. Kevin Owens is going to be debuting in NXT. That's 6 reasons to look forward to NXT TakeOver Evolution. And that's not even including Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy, and Tyler Breeze, and Tyson Kidd. So I think it shows you at the moment how good the talent roster is on NXT, even though I've gone out on record to say that I don't really see like a proper breakout main event star, apart from maybe a guy like Baron Corbin, if he improves. It's got the kind of look, but that's all I'm going to say about that. Tune in soon to see my preview, and of course I'll be reviewing NXT TakeOver Evolution. This time next week, I think it's live at 9 PM Central Pacific Time. I don't really know, but it'll be on the WWE Network. So that's all I'll say about that. Thank you very much for watching, guys. This week was a pretty decent show, in my opinion. They did what a go-home show should, and that is cover every single match on the pay-per-view, and they covered all the 5 segments, and of course they did the vignette for Kevin Owens' debut as well. So they covered everything on there, you know, quite well in my opinion. Most of it was booking 101, but that's really all it needed to be. That's what a go-home show is all about, telling everyone, you know, this is the last show, this is what you're going to get. Thank you very much for watching this review. Any comments down below? See you later.